The Super Mario Brothers movie is the brand new film from Illumination and Nintendo. And the film is about, of course, from the video game Mario, who this time is being voiced by Chris Pratt, with the help of Princess Peach, voiced by Anya Taylor-Joy, Toad, voiced by Keegan-Michael Key, and Donkey Kong, played by Seth Rogen, are trying to help save the Mushroom Kingdom and rescue Mario's brother Luigi, played by Charlie Day, by the overarching villain, the big bad Bowser, played by Jack Black. And the film is an hour and 29 minutes and is PG. Welcome back to a brand new movie review here on Max Talk Movie. Talk about the highly anticipated Super Mario Bros. Movie. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, ring the bell. I do other movie reviews, TV show reviews, movie rankings, and a box office breakdown show. So please subscribe, ring the bell. If you're new to the channel, we're going to break down how this does at the box office this upcoming Monday. Comment down below. What are your thoughts on this movie? First of all, is this your first time being thrown into the world of Mario, of Super Mario? Have you been playing the game since you were a kid? Tell me what age group. I would love to just hear everyone's thoughts if this was nostalgic for you. If you have not seen it, tell me you're going to check it out this weekend. Are you waiting for this at home? All those thoughts. And also, please, I also respond to every single comment that's in a nice way. Let's stay nice here in the comment section. And also, please like the video, guys, the thumbs up button. So a little, I guess, background for me is that I grew up as a kid playing all the Mario Kart games, all the Mario games. If it was on the Nintendo, if it was, the N64, if it was on the Wii, I played every medium basically of Mario. So I was so pumped for this movie, the nostalgia bug. And again, I don't love to hear a lot of critics' opinions before coming in, but obviously when you see the movie a day later than it came out, that's what will happen. And it's a very divisive movie, which I knew was going to happen. And for me, and I'll go into this with the positives, my negatives, and then my score, I really did have a good time at Super Mario Bros. I do think that I think if you're a critic and you just really want to be put on that critic hat, and you could really tear this movie into shreds. Of course you can, but it isn't that type of movie that I think we've all have such great expectations of movies now, where they have to be breathtaking. They need to have a great story in it. They need to have a message for kids. And I just feel like there's some times where some movies just need to put a smile on your face for 90 minutes, which you also just don't get anymore. A simple 90-minute adventure that has a lot of nostalgia for people who play the games, have grown up with the games. And honestly, that's what it made me do. It really made me feel like I was 6, 7, 8 years old again. And I haven't had a movie do that to me in a very long time. And I know that for a lot of people, when they see this, they might not feel that way. And again, if this is your first time watching it, maybe this is why you maybe don't want to get into it. But as I said, I grew up playing these games, and this movie does a great job for those of us who have played the games to feel nostalgic. There's a lot of Easter eggs, references, music cues, all of that I really got that made the experience so much better. And it's a fun time, especially once Mario goes and Peach and Toad go into Donkey Kong's kingdom and they try to recruit Donkey Kong's army. That's when the movie really picks up, because then you get the Mario Kart race on the rainbow. I do feel like the movie instantly picks up when that happens towards the third act of this movie. Shockingly, the part that scared me the most was definitely something that was a positive with the movie, and that is the voice cast. I think Chris Pratt is very much a positive in this movie. He just blended into Mario for me. I wasn't really thinking about it. The person who actually voices Mario and Luigi does have, definitely one cameo. I'm not sure. I heard there was another one that I didn't pick up on, but there's one clear cameo that you'll hear if you're part of the games he's been voicing Mario and Luigi the whole time. And yes, Chris Pratt at times does have to put on that Italian accent, but they do make the characters from Brooklyn in the movie, and you don't want to hear the "let's go" and those type of lines delivered like that for 90 whole minutes. Mario has to talk because he's the main character of this movie. He can't just do one-liners the whole movie, or he would be a very annoying character. I think a lot of things that scared me did actually turn out working for this movie. I think that the absolute standout of this movie, though, is Bowser, voiced by Jack Black, who's clearly having the time of his life voicing Bowser. Bowser is hilarious, very similar to the game. His mission is to marry Princess Peach and take over her world, Mushroom Kingdom. And Jack Black gets to use, let's just say, a couple of his musical talents as well, singing talents into this movie with Bowser. He is seen stealing every time he was on screen. My theater was in unanimous laughter with what he was talking about, especially when he gets into some of the Peach, when he talks about Princess Peach. It is hilarious to watch. Charlie Day is also perfect as Luigi, who's my favorite character from the games. I wish Luigi had a bit more to do in the movie, especially in the second act. But obviously, there seems like there's gonna be a lot more movies with this franchise going forward, so I'm not gonna get worried about that too right now. I had a fun time. Seth Rogen and Keegan-Michael Key and even Anya Taylor-Joy as in this movie. I especially like Taylor-Joy, who I thought Princess Peach had a lot of way more fun action scenes than usual. Now, yes, if you are a big fan of the games, you know that there are particular times where you do have to play a Princess Peach. And she's a lot of fun abilities, but I think the stereotype with this universe is, well, Mario has to save Peach from Bowser. And it was really refreshing to see Peach shown in this light, getting into the action, and not feeling it forced into the movie. I thought that was very well done as well. But as I said, when you get to I did have chills like 3 or 4 times throughout this film. As I said, when we go to Rainbow Road and it becomes Mario Kart, it is absolutely jaw-dropping. One of the best parts about this movie is the animation from the studio Illumination. It's gorgeous animation. It feels authentic to the games. I think if you're from any type of generation, you're going to find some nostalgia with the animation. It's gorgeous to look at and really engaging you into the movie. I also loved Brian Tyler's score, who did use a mixture of some new music, but for the most part, using those music cues and the themes of the games into this movie. And I had chills multiple times just off the music cues alone. But as I said, it just made me flash back to when I was 7, 8 years old, 6 years old, playing this game with my family, my mom and my brother. And I just wish, and yes, this doesn't have a groundbreaking story, but it made me feel like a little kid again, which I do really enjoy with this movie. Now, there are some clear negatives with this movie for me. There's 2 key negatives. The first one is that, yes, this movie does not really have much of a story going on that's very engaging. I really do feel like this is a middle ground movie between the first Sonic and the Lego movie. At times, it felt like I was feeling the same way that I felt about the first Sonic movie. It's a lot of fun. There's a couple of fun characters, but the story wasn't there for me in the first Sonic. And then the Lego movie, which is something that is going to be compared to this movie because it's the same thing. It's very mainstream. A lot of people can relate to things going on in the Lego movie. But I do think what the Lego movie does brilliantly and why it's such a special animated film is that it has a really deep story. And again, I'm not asking for the Super Mario movie to have a deep story, but I do think if they continue this franchise moving forward, I do think they need to put a little bit more effort into especially a more engaging story as we move on. This is a perfect kickoff for the franchise because it gives you a lot of those moments. It's a lot of fun. It's introducing you to the characters. But I think moving forward, once you get past those things, they are going to need stories that keep the audience, including myself, interested in the franchise moving forward. So I do feel like from a writing point of view, I think the movie definitely needed a lot of improvements. There really was no story to get connected to. And the one story that was very getting connected to in the first 20 minutes of the movie was the Mario and Luigi relationship. But once Luigi gets captured, he's pretty much in the same position he is for the remainder of the movie until obviously the big third act. So I do think they could have used Luigi a bit better in this movie, but I'm still going to hold out hope that he'll be used better moving forward. Another issue for me that just annoyed me throughout the film is that, well, yes, as I said, the music is one of the best parts of the movie. They do drop in a lot of 80s, 90s songs into the mix, and it just felt completely out of place. Because again, in the games, you're not putting on a vintage 80s music as these characters are going through activities. So there's 2 or 3 instances where it's a montage and they blast some 80s music. And for me, it just really pulled me out of the movie. As it needed that Brian Tyler Mario Kart score, not the 80s music that just doesn't fit this franchise whatsoever. That said, the story isn't right there. I also think the movie, well, it's a breeze of a 90 minutes. I do think the second and once I said the movie is really okay in the beginning, it just isn't engaging at all until Mario really gets to meet Princess Peach. And the first, let's just say, challenge that that Peach gives Mario, that's when the movie really kicks into high gear. But it does take the movie, I think, longer than expected to really get you into the movie. But overall, as I said, I had a really fun time. It made me feel like I was back 10, 15 years ago playing this game as a kid, and just enjoying myself. And I just loved this world so much. And I am very excited, by the way, for this franchise to continue based on its box office projections. I also want to say there are two credit scenes. There's a mid-credit scene, which is, and then there's also an end credit scene. I would say the very end credit scene is very important. After all the credits, I would definitely stay for that one. So I'm going to give the Super Mario Bros. Movie a 3.5 out of 5. I'm going to go 68% for this movie. I had a really good time watching this film. So what are your thoughts on this movie in the comment section down below? Like the video, subscribe. More movie reviews, TV show reviews, box office breakdown shows. More of those are coming soon. I'll see you guys soon.